Good morning, YouTube. I hope everybody's doing all right this morning. It's the old soldier coming at you from Robeson County, North Carolina. And it's kind of cool. Drizzly. Best way to describe it. Looks like we had some rain last night or early this morning. And I think we're supposed to get some more today. But anyway, folks. And I guess in certain parts of the nation today, you have what's called Super Thursday. So we'll see how that all pans out. There are predictions that today will definitively end Elizabeth Warren's bid for the presidential nomination. I don't know. Everybody else is falling out. Now, folks, we've talked about this before. I'm going to bring it up again. Now, you think, let's go back to the last election. Bernie's supporters were whooping up on Hillary supporters pretty darn good. Then all of a sudden, at the last minute, Hillary comes out on top and gets the nomination. Go figure. I honestly think, Bernie was too naive at the time of what the party was doing to realize that they were setting him up. So now we're where we're at now, the upcoming election, and we saw the big circus that took place at the beginning. Now it's been narrowed down. I think everybody's still got their hat in contention. Tulsi Gabbard, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, and Free Stuff Bernie. They all still have their hats in the ring. The reality of Tulsi Gabbard even getting enough to get, to make it to the floor of the convention for consideration is slim to none. I've said before, if I had to vote for any of the Democrats, that'd be the only one that would get my vote. But we shall see today. But if you noticed in the last couple days, the number of people that have dropped from the race, and look at the numbers that have backed Joe Biden. Look at who threw their weight behind Joe Biden. Now, the reason I say that is to say this. There's still a segment of the Democratic Party, I'm not going to call them a good segment, a segment that still believes the United States is a free country, don't want to be socialist, don't want to be labeled socialist. And they're going to do whatever they can in order to keep Mr. Sanders and his supporters from getting this nomination and making a run for president. But I'm afraid the divide in the party's already there. And they have allowed this to fester and brew for years. And now it's on them, and now they don't know what to do. Now they're scrambling. They're scrambling to make things right, I guess. But we'll see. I just find it kind of funny that at the last minute, Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg, they dropped and then automatically announced that they're putting their support behind Joe Biden. Now, why do you think they do that behind Biden? You think they like Joe Biden? I don't think they like Joe Biden. I think the party said, look, you need to back Joe Biden. Get your people behind Joe. Joe can't carry it by himself. When you think about it, out of the primaries, he did poorly out in Iowa. Hampshire didn't do him no good, and South Carolina, all of a sudden South Carolina got all these great numbers in South Carolina. All of a sudden he's a contender again. I think the party's putting their money behind Joe Biden, and they seem to think he's the only one that can. Oh, I forgot. There's Bloomberg. Bloomberg's still running. I forgot. but I don't think Bloomberg's going to go anywhere other than run his mouth and stutter and sidestep and not know exactly what he's trying to put out there. But yeah, I think the party's putting their money behind Joe Biden. He's the only viable candidate to take on Donald Trump in the main election this fall. Personally, I don't think any of the candidates can stand the light to the current president right now. We shall see. We shall see. Of course, I could be completely wrong about my predictions. That's all they are. But I find it funny and I find it odd that several of these people have already dropped. They're throwing their support behind Joe Biden. It's like, wow. Earlier in the race, you know, couldn't even barely get along with the man. Now all of a sudden it's, oh, and he's this great guy. And I was listening to the concession speeches of Mayor Pete and Senator Klobuchar. You know, and he's this great guy. He's great for the party. Da 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 blah blah blah. You know, I'm thinking, oh man, y'all can barely stand him during the debates. But again, party headquarters said, hey, y'all gonna drop because the chances are y'all not gonna get this. Y'all put all your support behind Joe Biden. That's the guy we want. So you need to make this happen. It's not as overt as it was with Hillary, though, where, you know, certain debate questions were rigged and given to the people, you know, certain people ahead of time, so they know what they're going to be asking. Yeah. So anyway, folks, I figured I'd talk about that for a minute, because that seems to be all over the news right now, and some of it I just find funny. But the old adage goes, only time will tell. Only time will tell. In other news, supposedly in the next few days, U.S. troops, from one article I was reading, are to start withdrawing from Afghanistan. It's kind of an anticlimactic end to the conflict, but it's an end. I'm not going to sit here and debate whether we should have been there as long as we were or not. What I do know, what history tells us, is that it has been an area of contention for thousands of years. In more modern times, the British couldn't subdue it. The Soviets couldn't subdue it. We weren't there to really subdue it. We were there to exact retribution on the Taliban and Al-Qaeda for their terroristic strikes against the U.S. And then it got into a prolonged war, if you will. What you got to know, if you don't know or don't fully understand, prior to the arrival of the Soviet Union in 1979 in Afghanistan was a fairly Western-influenced Middle Eastern nation, if you will. Kind of a lot like Iran prior to their demise. Okay, they were heavily influenced by Western culture, Western ways. There's pictures of Kabul prior to the Soviet invasion, a very modern city. Clean. People in in Western clothing, things of that nature. Soviets invade, thinking they'll make it a puppet state, to protect their southern border, kind of like it did the Eastern Bloc nations. Didn't work out for them. After about 10 years, they pulled out. They'd had enough. But it left a power vacuum. When they left, the central government just fell apart. So it left a power vacuum. And that was where the Al-Qaeda and the Taliban came in. And they turned everything into strict Sharia type law of the Islamic nature. Women had to be covered with the burqa. They couldn't hold positions in government. It just went on and on, like what happened in Iran. Now, Iran didn't go full on because they still have women do certain things within their government and their culture. But still in their culture today, women cannot have power over men. And military units in the Iranian army are supposedly segregated. You got all female units and all male units. Anyway, the whole thing is that they've gone to, the nation went to a strict religious type of government when the Soviets pulled out. And that's the fear that's going to happen now, is that when we leave, the central government's not going to be strong enough to fight off the religious zealots that are going to try and come back and reimpose these laws and ban girls from getting an education, things of that nature. And the reason they do this is that they say the Quran says it, but it's a bunch of junk. They just don't want women to be educated, because with an education they can have power. And in their society, women are not to have power over men. They're not to know more than a man. I can speak on some authority to that. I had to study this stuff when I went to Iraq on my last tour in Iraq. On an advisory team, we had to take cultural awareness classes, and some of them were rather deep-rooted in these matters of Islamic culture and Arab culture. Similar, not the same, similar. But yeah, because they signed a peace agreement late last week, I think it was. So now U.S. troops are supposed to be deploying back home soon, so they said. I hope this peace treaty holds. We've spent 18 years over there and have lost enough U.S. lives. Either the Afghan government and the Afghan military is going to sustain itself, or it's not. And if it's not, it'll go back to a warlord type faction. And the smarter thing would be to the part that the government can hold, establish their borders there, cut the rest off. Well, that's cold-hearted, old soldier. No, it's just you control what you can, and what you can't control, cut loose. Now, if the people that live in that region decide to finally step up and support you, then you can go back in. So that's the other part of it. When they subdue the people. We've talked about this before. Just like during the Vietnam War, the Korean War, communists went in. They subdued the people. Subdued them in fear. Disarmed them, threatened them, took their leaders, their intellects, their doctors, anybody that had any remote form of education, killed them, and made it known they were killed, displayed them. Here's your town mayor, here's all your school teachers, here's the school principal. This is what's going to happen to you if you get these ideas that you can do things on your own without permission from the government. Bust in your house in the middle of the night and take your sons off and put them in the army, and you don't even know where they're at. Take your daughters and have their way with them. And either send them back home in shame or kill them. Now, there's people argue that we shouldn't have gone back into Iraq, but I say we shouldn't have gone under the intelligence we went, or the reason that, what was said. But Saddam and his boys need to be taken out. Uday and Qusay. There have been never been as vile of two brothers than those two. One of the interpreters on my team had a cousin. At least that's what he told me. That was taken to one of their palaces near Kurdistan. They never saw her again. But if he decided to go to a town where he had one of his palaces, they would go into the town, and whatever girl he wanted, he got. There was no refusing those boys. If they said they wanted that one went. So those are some of the things that the Afghan government's going to be up against here, in a sense that you have people that are going to fight for power, and then when they get it, they're going to rule by absolute power and not a democratic process. But they need to do it for themselves. And again, folks, it's just thoughts I'm throwing out there today. Just smattering things that have caught my attention in the last few days. But in lighter news, spring is right around the corner, folks. So around here, it's been kind of too damp to really, for the farmers to do anything, though. That's a sad thing. Fields are still saturated. So they can't get in and till them and plant and get them ready for whatever they're going to put in the ground. So I don't know what's going to happen. One of the fields around my house will lease out to the farmer. But we're going to see. Well, anyway, folks, that's all the time I got today. I got to get ready to go in here and go to work. Charities I'd ask you to support: tunnelstotowers.org, Folds of Honor, Valor for Veterans, and Pen Up for Vets. You can't do it by themselves. Any help you can send them, they'd be greatly appreciative. Vendors: Money Quick Pawn, Rayford Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Robert's Custom Woodwork, Unsung Patriot, both on Etsy. Blackbagrifles.com, or blackbagresources.com, and Black Rifle Coffee. Go check them out. And like I said, if you like my poetry, ain't got my books yet, they're all on sale on Amazon. All the links and stuff like that are down below in the description block. So, till then, take care. We will see you tomorrow. Old Soldier out.